back as well.
Sorry, we were having some issues that we they was sort of, I guess, residual issues from last week's problems, right? Because your computer's registry must have been reset when you had everything switched over, because nothing was correct.
It didn't remember any of the settings, so
all of our OBS settings were all messed up. We couldn't get the cameras to load, so.
And just to fill you in, because you didn't get the first half of that, last week we had issues technical with me buying a new case and transferring everything over, and my roommate, who is a network engineer, said he knew how to do it, did it all completely wrong, no fucking worked. Long story short, almost melted my processor, finally figured it out. I give it to my brother, who's not built computers for 15 years, he got closer, and then just through dicking around, me and him figured it out.
The two of us who know nothing about computers figured out that the heatsink was not correctly installed onto the processor. It wasn't even touching it.
Oh, right, yeah, Kashal, we finally got it back. We had to stop mid-stream, but the first world problems of changing your computer, but it's back now. We missed last week, so we're going to quickly talk about last week's episode, and then we're going to go into 2 weeks' episodes, and then last week's episode. First off, Michael, your general thoughts so far, because I know you were telling me what you thought about the series as a whole.
Story time. Well, it's not the series as a whole, but it's something that I definitely noticed 2 more episodes in, and I found it's gotten way better. It's got much more enjoyable as each episode has gone by for multiple reasons. The second episode, I really enjoyed the fact that we started to get a little bit more of the action and the buddy cops scenario between Sam and Bucky, and then you get more of it here in the third episode, but with another character though who adds a completely different dimension altogether. And all I was thinking while I was watching it, and this was the night of release, but also even when we did our rewatch today, was that, man, like this is just a good spy thriller. This doesn't even have to be about the Winter Soldier or Falcon or Zemo or Flag Smashers or Sharon Carter. This could have just been some run-of-the-mill spy thriller, and I would be enjoying it as well. Very much so stands on its head, and episode 3 is fantastic. The only issue I'm having still is the problems with Anthony Mackie's acting abilities. I feel like he brings the now trio, I was going to say duo, but he brings the trio down a little bit. However, he's at his best when he's being more jovial and more fun and joking around. When he tries to be super intimidating, I'm authoritative and I'm an imposing presence. He doesn't have the acting chops to convey that, unfortunately, and Sebastian Stan does, and I guess it makes them a good duo for that reason. I guess you've got the more fun and jovial side from Anthony Mackie, and you get the more serious side from Sebastian Stan. And I don't know, it didn't affect it ultimately hasn't affected my experience of the show so far, and it's, like I said, it just keeps getting better and better and better. So that's my only real gripe.
All right, I'm gonna deal with your gripe to start with, and then I'll tell you my thoughts, because my gripe is the same as your gripe. I don't think Anthony Mackie is...
I thought you were going to say Anthony Emmy.
No, I don't think Anthony Mackie is a phenomenal actor. I think he's an okay actor. Sebastian Stan's a good actor who hasn't really been given anything to put his teeth into as a lead role yet. But Daniel Bruhl, who plays Zemo, is a very good actor. And in the third episode, having a very good actor on the screen at the same time as a weaker actor really shows the weaker actor's flaws. And that's why I think in this third episode, it was even more...
it's called upstaging.
Yeah, and I don't think he's meaning to do it. It's just...
No, good actors don't mean to upstage bad actors.
Yeah,
it says. I think that's what you're trying to get at. It's just it's natural upstaging,
and it makes it obvious. So that's my point, my thought on that.
The story's cool. The story's actually more intriguing than WandaVision because it doesn't rely on crazy what the fuck isms.
So
it's intriguing more in a spy thriller sense. It's
so
going to be really wondering. Who's the bad guys here?
Yeah.
Why is Zemo all of a sudden we know more about him? He seems way more high stature than the character we know from the movie. It's so much more interesting. The intrigue is way better.
I completely agree with you. I think this could be a very standalone show, from the MCU. It could be you could take Bucky out and put in Jason Bourne. You could put James Bond in it. It could be any spy thriller. You could put Jason Statham's character from Spy in there.
Yeah, you don't have to go into semantics on that one.
So the way it's being shot and the way it's being put out there, you're right. It's a great story that doesn't need to be in the Marvel universe, but it is. So I want to go on to
after today. No, after this week's episode, last week's episode. Sorry,
yeah. we
missed so much.
Few.
No, the first 2 episodes weren't that good. I wasn't putting them on that sort of pedestal. They still very much so needed.
Well,
relied on the fact that they were MCU related. This latest episode, episode 3, is the first instance that I've gotten that this show can stand on its own.
I want to talk about episode 2 because I've loved how the show has taken Captain America, which literally, a year and a half ago at the end of Endgame was probably one of the most beloved Marvel characters, and the Steve Rogers as Cap, and then has literally flipped it on its head to John Walker and being one of the most hated Marvel characters. And I think Wyatt Russell is playing the role awesome, because when we first meet him and he's introducing to Bucky and Sam, and he's with his buddy, I think, what's he called? I want to say Master Blaster, but that's the guy out of Mad Max. It's something like that. He's got a code name, and he's
his sidekick.
His sidekick. When you first introduce him, he's quite nice, and he's trying to be friendly and all that. But then as that episode progresses, he becomes more and more of a dick, to the point right at the end where he says to him, "Don't get in my way." And then we had all the memes of, who the fuck do you think you're talking to?
But I think though that it's played that way.
100%.
Like they even have this sort of like lingering good use of camera blur, camera focus actually, where it slowly focuses onto Bucky and Sam, but you still get a piece of Captain America, John Walker, as he turns away, almost with this, thank God. Like this relieved look on his face. It's like, oh my God, did I just do that? Did I just threaten them? Holy crap!
Well,
you know what I mean.
Even aside, John Walker can probably take Falcon easily. Cause
I disagree.
Why? Special Forces soldier taking out some dude who flies around with wings easily.
No, but he's also a Special Forces soldier himself.
I don't think he's Special Forces.
He's just a pilot.
No, he's just he was called Airborne Recovery, so they used to fly in and rescue people.
So he is. He's a type of special forces.
He's kind of
an extraction special forces. I don't know.
On a 1-to-1 fight, I would put money on John Walker spanking his ass.
Well, not to mention though that
he just threatened.
He's also had years and years of training with the best
of riding the Avengers' coattails.
Yeah. Of being the only Avenger they could afford to get for Ant-Man's cameo.
Yeah. But he does threaten not only a super soldier and someone of equal strength and ability to Steve Rogers, but also a trained assassin that would literally blip him out of existence with a snap of his metal vibranium arm. And that's why I like it. When you say, then it pans back to me, it looks like he's trying to act all big and tough, like in the playground.
Yeah, it's like you've done that before, where you've stood up to a bully, right, and your heart is like beating like crazy, and you're just not, like you're prepared for a fight. The flight or fight instinct is kicked in, and then the bully backs down and walks away. You kind of turn away, thinking, "Oh my God."
That's definitely what we got from that. So we've obviously now got it set up for last week's episode, where Bucky says to Sam, "We got to go speak to Zemo. He knows all Hydra's secrets." And then we meet Zemo. Bucky goes to see him, and I love the way they shot his escape.
Are we not going to talk about the episode 2 at all?
Well, we talked about the main point, John Walker. Or do you want to bring up the?
No, because there's also the
Isaiah Bradley
and the flag smashers and the whole fight scene on the highway.
See, so this is how I'm going to describe the fight scene.
Because
Insert-
don't forget, John Walker does reach. He does reach his hand out to them at first, right? You can't.
Yeah,
just
that's what I say.
completely-
It starts off, he's nice and he's trying to work with them, but then as this episode goes along, he becomes more and more of a dick.
But have you noticed though that Bucky's the first one? He's like, I can't handle this. Stop the car. Gets off, walks away. Whereas Sam sticks around, trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But it's not until he says, "I need Captain's number one man by my side," where Sam's then, "Oh man, you just had to go. You went one thing. You almost had me, but you went too far."
But that's because Bucky's loyal to a fault, to Steve. To the point where they even,
whereas Sam is more loyal to his duty. That's why he sticks around. He's like, well, maybe
to the
I should
point
give
where
these guys a chance.
Bucky even suggests when they're on the plane, "I'm going to steal the shield off him." He says, "I'm going to steal the shield." Oh, there was one part that we didn't mention about episode 2, which is my favorite part of the episode, was when they're having their
one part we didn't mention about episode 2. You just glanced right
dribbled.
over it.
The part where they're having their therapy session. And that line from Bucky is very telling to me. When he goes, "You shouldn't have given away the shield. If Steve was wrong about you, what does that say about me?" Because then that is really leading up to us. Like, we discussed it last week when we had no sound and nothing worked. At the end of Endgame, we're probably not the only two that were really angry that Steve gave the shield to Sam. When Steve's entire arc is near enough...
I got to be honest, I didn't bat an eyelid at all at it.
I was pissed.
I guess this shows like the level of investment difference between the two of us, because I was more watching the ending of Endgame, more just kind of still confused. I was very confused.
But there you go, though. When we talked about when we sat around the fire the other night, we were talking about our top. I put in Marvel movies in order.
Yeah.
In my top 5, I had 2 Captain America movies. To me, the Captain America.
My phone's there. I can't check that.
Civil War.
Spoiler! That's going to be a video for the future, buddy.
But I'm more invested in Captain America than I was in Iron Man. So, The Winter Soldier to me is the best Marvel movie.
Yeah, but that's kind of why you have to maybe go back and rethink those rankings then, because those rankings are not supposed to be based on like your investment. Just because you're biased towards Captain America doesn't mean those movies are better than the Iron Man movies.
But also, that's why I see it being like you bite your thumb at me at the end of Endgame when Cap shuns Bucky to give him the shield. Because realistically, we even said at the end of it, Cap's a super soldier. You need to be a super soldier to make that shield work.
Yeah, but
so you give it to another super soldier.
Is there any narrative reason for why he does it?
Narrative? Because the Russos were just so
No.
They wanted to finish the movie.
Is there any narrative reason for it?
No. I can't think of any.
So, Bucky's his best friend. He's introduced in the first movie.
He's the basically common thread of Captain's story.
He's also kind of the primary antagonist of one of them. There's a different dynamic, I guess, but like Falcon isn't introduced until the second Captain America movie, so he's not in all 3, but he's introduced in the second as a new sidekick. Then in Civil War, he kind of barely features, doesn't he? He's just Civil War. It's more of him and
Sam.
his relationship with Bucky. Kind of, there's way more goes into that than goes into Sam's relationship with Cap in Civil War.
Because the whole reason they have a Civil War is because of Bucky.
I'm just trying to think if there's any narrative explanation as to why at the end of Endgame it's him giving it to Sam. Because even Bucky gives this nod of approval.
But we obviously now know from episode 2 of the Falcon and Winter Soldier, Bucky is upset at that.
Because so what we're saying is then that when he gave that nod and whatnot in his hands, he was actually biting his lip, and he's like, off screen, he's like,
well, let's put this. We could say that Marvel and Feige's got everything planned out for the end of time, and they actually meant for that to happen because they knew this was happening, and they knew that Bucky was going to be upset that he didn't get the shield. Or more likely, the Russos just wanted to finish it, and they thought it'd be nicer to give it to Sam. And now, retrospect, they're now writing into the storyline that
it happens in the comics though, because so I read an article that was pointing out how funny it is that that it mirrors what happened when it happened in the comics perfectly. When it happened in the comic books, the the fans were in uproar about that too.
That's maybe why they did it then. But I definitely see in that second episode, I love the scene with the therapist.
I know. Sorry, I know we're supposed to be talking about the show, but so could you? I think now you say that it's lazy writing and stupid. I mean, it is lazy writing, but I do think it was intentional
To shun Bucky?
to create, to fabricate this conflict that they both have with each other to overcome as for the narrative of the show, so that they have this kind of.
Well, that's just it, because the only reason there's any conflict
Does tie into episode 2 now.
Yeah, the only reason there's conflict is because Sam gives away the shield, and that pisses Bucky off even more. Not only that, Steve didn't think that he was worthy of the shield.
Well, that brings us back to the beginning of episode 2 then, because are you telling me if Bucky hadn't have seen on the news the new Captain America, would he have approached
No, because
Sam in that hangar to go on that mission with him?
no, he purely shows up at that mission to confront Sam about why he gave away the shield.
Yeah.
They don't even know Sam's going.
Okay,
He then
so
just-
it is by design.
So, and now this is back to the point of where certain stuff Anthony Mackie does is good when it's funny, because when they're on the plane and he goes, "What's the plan?" and he's just ignoring him, and then he jumps out. That's quite a funny scene, and that's not poorly acted out. And the part where he jumps out at 200 feet and he goes, "I've got that all on camera." That banter's good. But you're right. As soon as there's some
No, so the bit that I didn't like is when they go in, where they're infiltrating the Flag Smasher's hideout, and he like sneaks up on him and is like, "Holy shit, don't do that to me!" And he says, "I think we could take them. There's only 2." And he's like, "Is there really only 2?"
That's where he's now.
I see. One,
Yeah.
2.
And
I see 8. I thought that was that kind of harkens into not only, in my opinion, contrived conflict between the two of them, but it's one of the more poorly acted moments.
Yeah, that's
from
where,
Anthony
where you've
Mackie.
gone from now light, jovial, comedic style to I've got to be serious. Bucky, you're running into this head first.
I don't know. They're still kind of fighting. I think that was supposed to be played for laughs.
Yeah, but it didn't come off funny at all.
Exactly, because I don't know.
And then
He's up and down, is Anthony Mackie.
Well,
It's
okay.
weird.
then we go on to insert Marvel action scene here.
Well, just so that we're not being completely
Douchebags.
TRS media shits on Anthony Mackie. Like, is there? What has he been in? What is
So
he? What is
he's
he
in
known
a
for?
weird episode of Black Mirror.
Is he like the lead in anything?
He's in a lead in a Netflix movie.
So he has had experience as a lead in a film.
Yeah.
Because remember, we've discussed this before. These TV shows are basically just movies.
Yeah. But then if we go that way, then so far after 3 episodes, Anthony Mackie's a supporting cast. He's not the lead.
Well, but he is. He's one of the leads.
But that's what I'm saying, though. That's how it comes across.
There's 2 leads in this show.
But it doesn't come across like that. There are 2 leads.
Yeah.
Bucky and Seymour. So
Well,
anyway,
go on.
so then we get into the insert Marvel action sequence here.
Yeah, but it's good.
It's a great action sequence, and
But why is it good?
so
It's not good just because of how well made it is, like CGI wise or choreography.
it's
It's
good
really-
because a few
It's really
certain
good
things
because
happen.
Well, plot happens.
Yeah, we find out there are more super soldiers. That's instantly the catalyst for the rest of the show.
We have John Walker show up, and we get a nice. Big sample size of actually what he can do as Captain America, and you do feel like you're like, oh wait, this guy can handle his own. He's doing acts of heroism, like when he throws the shield to protect his fallen friend and whatnot. But then what happens is we have more conflict between Bucky and Sam, where they end up actually both getting torn away because Sam comes down, I think, to save him, right?
Yeah, he does. He's hanging underneath the truck,
So
and
then we're left with John Walker now against his super soldiers by himself,
gets
he immediately
arse
just
handed
gets,
to him.
he immediately gets knocked on his ass and falls off.
What I thought about that when I was watching it is when he's hanging. The key one to me is when he's hanging off the back of the truck. If that was Steve Rogers, Steve would have literally pulled himself up and jumped, done a somersault, landed on the thing, and kicked their ass.
Yeah, but
he can like just. pulse himself.
you are rooting for him though. At that point, you're like, oh look, he can do it, and a normal person would have just fallen off, and he gets up, but then he gets knocked on his ass instantly.
But then we go to movie silliness, because he's not a super soldier, but she kicks him. Carly, what's her name? The leader of the Flag Smasher. She kicks him and he flies
I'm just
off.
gonna call her Enfys Nest.
Yeah, she kicks him. He flies off a truck and lands in the windshield of a car,
A moving car.
and doesn't have to go to emergency, have surgery on all his punctured lungs and his internal. He's not a super soldier. That should have killed him.
Is that what happens?
Yeah, she kicks him. So he throws the shield and saves his buddy, but then she kicks him off the back and he lands in a white, like Polo Honda windshield.
I just remembered though. It's played up that they're not moving very fast, but that's where you even again. This is like superhero logic because even if they were only moving a couple of kilometers per hour, that would have still probably caused injuries.
He would have had back injuries. He'd have had a compressed chest from where a super soldier just booted him in the chest.
But if you do think back to it and you think about how that moment is filmed, the trucks have slowed down, which makes no sense because they're on a secondary highway in the middle of rural America.
Do you know
those trucks should be going 110 kilometers per hour.
Do you know all I could think about when the two trucks were side by side? Yeah. Are they going to move apart and Jean-Claude Van Damme's going to show up?
Oh no, I was thinking for some reason Christmas Vacation.
No,
someone was going to go underneath one.
No, two trucks would be trains, planes, and automobiles.
Yeah.
No, but that's how the advert was with Jean-Claude Van Damme. But anyway, that was a great set piece because we were given the plot device of there are more super soldiers. They don't know how many, so we now know that because we said from the first episode that Flag Smasher must be a super soldier. So there's obviously super soldier serum coming from somewhere. We get the conflict. We get to see John Walker in action, and he's not that good. He's about as good as Anthony Mackie.
I think this goes to show how you and I must view things differently. I think it's intentionally shown that he actually can hold his own until he's on his own against a super soldier.
So he's not holding his own.
So he can though. Like he's fighting and whatnot, and he's doing heroic things. He's being the best Captain America, as he says, the best Captain America he can be. But because I don't think it's done unintentionally that Sam comes to save the day to take Bucky away, so that they both end up out of the fight,
and it leaves him on his own. It shows how exposed he is.
It's to cause them to have a situation where they can argue about each other's tactics, methods, or whatnot, and it also leaves John Walker on his own to get knocked into a windshield of a moving vehicle.
Anyway, so we then get the part with them in the car, which was good. I like the back and forward. We find out that the other black guy's got a code name, and
the other black guy.
Wait, because there's two of them. And is it Anthony Mackie?
We need to get names before we come on this live show, Matthew.
He's called Blaster or something.
Pull it up. We have a computer.
He's called Laser Blaster.
No, it is a really silly name. But he probably has a character, like an actual name.
Lamar Hoskins is the character's name. And I can't remember what does he say? Battlestar. We should have known that from Battlestar. Yeah. But I think it's Anthony Mackie who then takes the piss out of him.
Yeah.
He goes, really? But again, that's just a normal soldier. Like, this is the dumb...
With the fancy outfit.
This is the dumb thing about the new setup for Cappies. You've got two normal soldiers. Let's say they're both top of the class in Special Forces. The reason why Special Force units have multiple 16 to 20 to 30 guys is because that's how many you need to take out normal bad guys. Osama bin Laden wasn't taken out by two Special Forces guys. There was a unit of them.
Well, it was a whole compound as well that they had to infiltrate.
Wait, so now you're going to go take on 8 super soldiers with 2 normal dudes? That's just dumb. They should be just smears on the pavement.
Again, though, I don't think we don't know the full story behind John Walker though either.
We don't know whether he's had the
because it also seems like he acts with impunity a little bit too.
We find that out then, yes, in the third episode we find that out. I've got to sneeze. Excuse me.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, after that we have the little to and fro, and you can tell that obviously the two Avengers don't like these two new guys. Plain and simple.
Well, I discussed it though earlier. I don't think it's a matter of necessarily disliking the guys. I think it's more of Bucky's hang up because he's. How dare they be
trying to fill Steve's shoes?
He's immediately dismissive of it as well. Whereas Sam, he gives them the benefit of the doubt, and especially because John Walker gives him the line, "I'm just trying to be the best Captain America I can be."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, I'm listening." But then he says, "And if I'm to do that, I'm going to need Captain America's best man at my side." And that's where Sam's like, "No, okay, you had to keep talking."
Well, then we find out about Isaiah Bradley as well, which was a a good reveal. I wasn't expecting it, that they were going to bring in a black super soldier, especially with Anthony Mackie giving up Cap's shield, and there was
Oh yeah, the bit that I completely forgot about because I must have fallen asleep.
you must
while
have
we were
fallen asleep
watching.
when we were watching it the second time. You're like, what the fuck's going on here? But we find out that Isaiah and Bucky have had the tussles over the years. Now,
What do we know about Isaiah though? Like, was he an active super soldier during the Cold War?
yeah, so he is a character that's been in and out of the comics
How does Captain America, Steve Rogers, not know about him?
because Steve was in Ice.
So he was made after they lost Steve.
Yeah, because as he says, over the years I've had my tussles with you, and he's talking to the Winter Soldier. So he was obviously...
How did the Avengers not know about him? I guess he's old and retired by now. But we are also shown, though, that he's still got powers.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. So we know that old Cap could easily come back and kick ass.
I would love it if we had... Do you know how we had Logan, which was based off of Old Man Logan?
Yeah.
I would love it if they get to the point where they're like, we need another Captain America movie. Hey, Chris, do you want to come back and do one more Captain America movie? And he'll be like, yeah, but I'm old now. It's like, yeah, it's going to be called Old Man Rogers.
Yeah. Old Man Rogers, that's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers, yeah, Old Man Rogers.
No, he's called Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, no, but Old Man Rogers, he comes on.
Mr. Rogers wasn't an old man when he did that show. What are you on about?
Well, he was older.
Yeah, but he's not like retiree.
Yeah, I guess.
Don't think I will. Like,
But all I had when you said old,
what's your problem?
no, when you said Old Man Rogers, all I pictured was Mr. Rogers with the Captain America shield with his red cardigan on.
That actually, I'm surprised that's a meme that doesn't exist. We got to make that. Because you could easily do that. You just get a picture of Mr. Rogers and then just superimpose
Just the shield.
We could do that. We got to make. See, that's the kind of content we need on our Facebook page. You need to go make that meme and post it on our page.
That's what when you said Old Man Rogers, I didn't think of Old Man Logan. That's exactly what I thought of.
Yeah, but he's not called Old Man
No.
Rogers.
Anyway, let's get back on track. We then, after the Isaiah Bradley thing...
just to clarify, I don't care if this goes on for a few hours.
Yeah, that's fine.
I only have one more mission to do on KOTOR tonight, so I won't be streaming for too long.
So then we get what I felt like was forced police prejudice against Falcon, and
I don't think it was forced at all. I think you're kind of suspect to think it's forced.
yeah,
When
I did. And then
it's an actual
you got,
valid topic
yeah,
and a current day issue.
You got the tour bus in the background, and then
Well, hold on. No, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire on that. Why was it forced?
because it was just two dudes talking to each other in the middle of the street. Why would the cops show up? No one's called them.
No, they're there for a reason.
Why
They're there to arrest Bucky.
No, they don't know he's there. They only know once they figure out who he is. He says, "Oh, I'm really sorry, Mr. Barnes. We just figured this out." They're not there to arrest Bucky. They're
No,
just,
I think you're wrong
no,
there.
they're not. They're just on. If anything, they're on patrol. They're not there to. How do they know Bucky's there? Who's called them?
Because someone's tracking them. What's his face is tracking them? John Walker.
No,
we know someone's tracking them on, but it is. It's
yeah,
made
but
explicit.
No, but
I know. And look, I forgot this. I fell asleep during this
That's
scene.
how John Walker knows they're in the cop station. But you're telling me John Walker called the cops on him?
Yeah.
Nah, I didn't get that.
But even more so, even if that's wrong, you're wrong that the cops were just there. They weren't just there. They were there to arrest Bucky.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, they just give Sam the old hey now because he's a black guy.
If they were there to arrest,
and that's what your problem was with. You thought that was forced.
Yeah, and that's what I think. That's what I was saying. I was thinking that was forced because if they were there to arrest Bucky,
Not to mention Baltimore's kind of a shithole too.
Sorry, I'm eating the mic. If they were to arrest Bucky, they'd have come out guns blazing and told the Winter Soldier to get on the ground. They spoke to Sam first.
No, but they didn't because look at the way they arrest him. They even arrest him all timid, like it's like, look, we're going to take you in, and they knowing that they can't subdue him. And
no, because he even says to me, he goes, "What's going on here? Are you okay?" And he's basically saying to the white guy, "Are you okay? Is this black guy causing you problems?" But it's like,
yeah, because they probably didn't know at the time that's who it was, but that's why they were there to find them.
Maybe.
I think you're getting all hung up over nothing.
I didn't think that. But then we got to the scenes that we've talked about, where they then get released, and he tells them to stay out of the way, and then it leads us into last week's episode, which we've said was the better one. So why do you think this episode was so far above the other two?
It's just so it's cool. It's just fucking cool. Everything from the Winter Soldier tearing up a fucking bar to Zemo's just sheer presence.
The first part of this episode that I thought this episode's gonna be really good was the jailbreak scene, because the way it was filmed and the way Bucky was telling Sam, that was good story writing and good comedic story writing as well.
Yeah, we also have good comedic beats between Bucky and Sam, and Zemo, when they're on the plane, and
he says, "If you don't pass the smell test, give it to them."
Yeah,
and he's like, "Hey man, have you always been rich?" "I'm a Baron, Sam." Yeah, of course. And that jacket was baller, man. I hope Disney sell that on their website, because I want to buy merchandise. That jacket was awesome.
But also the when Sam's he's right, but I'll deal with you in a second. When he agrees with Zemo.
Oh, when he's talking about Troublemaker.
Yeah,
and he's like, whether that's wrong or not, he's right.
Yeah. So there's lots of good, really, really good comedic beats. I think the trio are better than the duo.
Yeah, because you've got two good actors now.
Is it? Yeah, but we've also got a triangle. We've got a trifecta, a strong structure.
I tell you what I did like about that, which I only noticed on the second time of watching.
Where's the chat?
The chat is there. What I did like about that scene or sequence that I didn't notice on the first time of watching is
in the plane.
Yeah,
that's not a sequence. That's a scene. You're good to call that a scene.
Is Bucky's book. Is Steve's.
Bucky's book.
Bucky's book.
Bucky's book.
I like that. The fact that it's so obvious that Bucky misses Steve because they were best buds. And it's obviously hurt him that Cap thought that Sam was more worthy of the shield.
See, that to me is forced.
What, that it's his book?
Yeah.
Why? Because we do.
So first of all, where did he get it? Is that...
He might have asked him for it.
Off screen after he's given Sam the shield, he's walked off. He's like, okay, Bucky.
like Wizard of Oz. And for you, I have
a little book.
All the shit I've not done.
Like, why? Where did he get it? How does he know that Steve's
well, Sam
to-do
Sam recognizes it.
No, but how does he get it? Where does he find it? How did Bucky know that that's what that was? Was he looking through Steve's things and he said, "Oh,
it's not important"? That's not important right now.
Exactly.
What? How he got it is not important.
I think it is.
I don't think it is. Maybe Steve give it to him. Maybe it was a treasured
That's what
possession.
That's what I said. He does off screen when he's on the bench at the end of Endgame.
Yeah, Sam walks off and he's like, "Fuck yeah, look at this."
I just said that.
Yeah. No. You give it to him later on. You give it to him a few weeks later over a coffee and a bagel.
I think it's there so that we can have a moment where the audience is realizing, oh, he's obviously not happy about the way Steve's legacy is being dealt with. But also so that we can have a little bit of a kerfuffle between him and Zemo.
I love their rationale as well, Bucky's rationale for using Zemo. And it shows you there, like what you were saying, that Sam's the good, dutiful soldier, and Sam will toe the line, whereas Bucky's willing to go slightly off the line and meander either side, because he basically just breaks Zemo out of prison.
Well, see, and that's what I'm worried that the show's going for, is that neither of them can fill Captain's shoes, but together they can.
Yeah, but hang on. Cap meandered around the line.
No, not at first. He doesn't start doing that until Civil War.
No. So Cap has, so there's the line that the government set, which Sam follows as a dutiful soldier. Then there's Cap's line. Cap's line is what's right. Cap never does anything. He's always what's the word I'm looking for? It's altruistic. He's always trying to do the best thing.
He's righteous.
Righteous, yeah. So even if it's against orders, he'll do it. He will go against the military's orders if that's the right thing. And he does in the first Avenger. He goes off and saves those guys when Tommy Lee Jones says, "No, they're dead. Fucking leave them. You're too important."
Yeah, so he follows the moral line.
Yes, which Sam doesn't. Sam
doesn't meander though.
No. What I'm saying is he meanders around the military line, the line that the military says. Sometimes he's on that line. Sometimes he's off that line.
Well, because as soon as he becomes an Avenger, that he is. Him and the rest of the Avengers operate with impunity, which is kind of the central conflict behind the whole Civil War arc.
But he also did that in the first Avenger. He did what was right. and Bucky as the same. As,
Some could even consider Captain America a sort of self-righteous character.
Yeah, but again though, that's so the two instances we get is we get Sam will toe the military line and follow orders. Bucky will meander around the military line and do what's necessary, and probably not to the point where he's doing it as pure as Steve did, but with the same kind of mindset.
Mm-hmm. Either way, the reason I brought it up it was in direct contradiction of what you were saying about. Oh, I love how Bucky just he just goes wherever he wants and whatnot. Yeah, but he's not jumping on grenades, and he's not doing it because he thinks it's right. He's doing it because he's more rebellious. So you come back to my original point. The two of them together are a good Captain America. That's where I feel
if you were going to merge them together.
I'm not saying this is something I think's happening. I'm just saying I hope that's not where the show's going.
But if you were to merge them together, 98.7% of the new Captain America would be Bucky, and then the 2.3% would be Sam.
Well, no, because we're talking about the morality here. We're talking about their behavior. We're not talking about their powers and their abilities.
And we both know that they'll follow the line that Captain, because they did in Civil War. They both followed him.
Yeah.
And then we get to this fictional Asian town, which could have just been Hong Kong, Singapore, Macau.
It's Madripoor.
Yeah.
But that's what I was saying to you earlier. It's interesting that Marvel don't have any issues using real cities in North America.
Yeah.
Contrast it to DC. New York is Metropolis.
Gotham is Chicago.
Yeah, you've got all of the northeastern megacity in the United States essentially in Marvel, and it's there. Down to fucking the boroughs, because
Baltimore.
You got Queens and you've got fucking Brooklyn. Like, all this stuff's all there. Whereas in DC, it's all made up.
Yeah.
But there, for some reason, when it comes, as soon as they get past, I think, the Urals, soon as they get to like the Balkan region and the Warsaw Pact region of Europe,
Sokovia was made up as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All of a sudden, now everything's made up. All the made up countries, made up cities, because Wakanda's made up.
Yeah, but not to bounce around. But did you like the little nugget of how they got Sokovia off the map?
No.
Zemo says that Sokovia was cannibalized by all its neighbors' nations and has been wiped off the map. That's why there's no Sokovia anyway. And then he says, I bet you didn't even go.
But there's still a Wakanda. But although I guess Wakanda's hidden.
Yeah, but that's what I like, though. I like that they explained why there is no Sokovia on the maps, which I thought was... They didn't need to. I just thought it was a very clever little bit of dialogue.
Well, but Sokovia's tiny as well. It's got to be smaller than, like, Luxembourg.
Yeah, easy to cannibalize once the major city has been destroyed.
Yeah, because it's like... actually, it kind of reminds me of Suriname, where my guitar player from my band goes. Suriname is like population of 600,000, and I'm like, what city are you in? It's like, I'm in the only city.
Yeah. Yeah, so why they made up Madripoor and not just call it Singapore, Macau, Hong Kong?
For the same reasons they made up Sokovia. So
yeah.
There's obviously... There's something... I think when Marvel have some sort of commentary about a region of the world that they're worried might not be received well, they make something up.
You mean like the reason why Mephisto will never be in the MCU because it'll never be shown in China?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but also because they have Wakanda, which is in
Central Africa.
It's in Central Africa, and it's a financial, technological paradise, which doesn't exist in Central Africa.
Yeah, maybe they do. That might be into.
Madripoor's a little bit different because there is. It's clearly, obviously,
an allegory of
it's an analogy of Singapore,
Macau, Hong Kong,
Shanghai.
Yeah,
all
of them. Don't get me wrong; it looked great the way it was filmed. I really liked it. You've got these three. Zemo's got on playing characters. The Winter Soldier's having to play the Winter Soldier again. And Anthony Mackie's playing a pimp.
What's his name? Something Tiger? Yellow Tiger or something?
Slouching Tiger. But I love his line where he goes, you really expect me to dress like? He goes, yes, that's how pimps dress.
Yeah. And why are they looking for this power broker again?
So they're trying to find out where the super soldier serum's coming from. That's the whole point of getting Zemo.
So they've given up on tracking down the Flag Smashers themselves.
Yes, they want to find out where the serums come from.
We get more character development for her and her friends in this episode, where we start to realize that they're actually not bad. They're not bad people. They want to bring the technology of the serum to sick people who can be healed from it. They want to help their community.
Yeah. Whereas the reason Bucky went and got Zemo is because Zemo's whole job was he thought he destroyed the super serum program by destroying the Winter Soldier program in Siberia. And when he says, I think he says along the lines of, "I'm not leaving my life's work unfinished," because he doesn't want an army of Avengers.
Well, yeah, and before he's broken out, we also find out that he's reading Machiavelli, which is supposed to signal that he is not beyond Machiavellian tactics to get what he wants.
Yeah.
He's also he's a self-focused individual, probably trying to build up the idea behind, because we don't know why he wants to destroy the super soldiers in the Civil War. It's because of
them destroying Sokovia, the super-powered humans.
Yeah, but he's already taken them out, though, we find. Everything he does in Civil War is about bringing down the Avengers.
Yeah, as well. So it's a multi-layer plan.
Yeah. But this is the first time we really get any sort of, like, on-the-nose indications that this character...
He's been doing it for a while.
This character of Baron Zemo is a self-centered Machiavellian type who basically wants to be a Lone Ranger and thinks everyone should happen that way, and thinks organizations and Black Ops groups and groups and organizations that act without impunity, he's completely 100% against them.
So we then get another good set piece fight scene where the Winter Soldier basically is the Winter Soldier.
I wouldn't call that a set piece. It's just a little fight.
A little bar fight.
It's a bar fight. Yeah.
And then we meet Shelby, and then we get a part in the show which I thought was stupid. First off, number one rule of going to secret, super dangerous meetings with
How do you know?
with bad guys and gangsters is turn off your fucking cell.
When was the last time you went to a meeting with super bad guys pretending to be a bad guy?
Listen, if you have to turn off your cell phone in the fucking movie theater...
You don't know?
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't.
It even comes up
to silent.
Please turn off your phone. But he didn't have
put it on silent.
He had his on the... In fact, his phone wasn't vibrating. That was a vibration sound.
To me, I get it. It's to ratchet up the tension, but it feels silly, but for a different reason, in my opinion.
It's out of place.
It feels silly because why would they react that way about him all of a sudden just because his phone's ringing?
And why would he, when she says open it or answer it and put it on speakerphone, a real badass gangster pimp had told her to go fuck herself?
I would have just been like,
oh, fuck that bitch.
It's my fucking sister.
Put it away.
You really don't want to deal with this right now. The reaction of Shelby is the weirder thing.
I think
the sillier thing.
The whole weird thing was
it's to build tension. No,
yeah.
you can't argue that it doesn't have a purpose.
But
in
there was better ways of doing that. They could have written anything they want to the point.
No, come on. There's a better way to do it. Give us a better way to do it.
So he could have slipped up and said something like the Great Escape.
So
when he says "Good luck,"
thank you. Hold on,
which is stupid as well.
If the first rule of super secretive infiltrating gangster meetings is to not take your cell phone, the second rule surely is to make sure you don't fucking slip up.
Oh no, because slipping up by saying something wrong is human nature. Having your phone just go off at an unimpromptu time.
I don't think so. I think it basically shows that he is flawless and he's capable of doing this. He takes the shot with the snake guts in it and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's meant to ratchet up tension because we're like, who he's got this. They've got this. They're cool.
But it doesn't matter.
They're too cool for school. There's no way she's gonna figure out what's going on. Ring, ring, ring.
But
ring,
it literally
ring.
ratchets up the tension for 7.5 seconds before she shoots.
Do you know how you fix it?
How?
You keep it. But you have a throwaway line from what's it called from Zemo earlier is that no cell phones. Set it up that Shelby is going to be instantly suspicious if the phone rings.
Well, just on cell phones are constantly listening. If you were going into that kind of meeting, the bad guys won't let you take your cell phones in there anyway.
That's why I'm saying if they set up that bringing a cell phone in was a bad idea, then that fixes the problem.
But that solution is rectified extremely quickly with a sniper shot and 2 henchmen.
Yeah, it kind of makes that scene feel in itself kind of
pointless.
Pointless, yeah.
But
the only thing we really gain narratively from that whole sequence at this gangster dive is
there's somebody called the Power Broker that runs Madripoor,
and that the Winter Soldier possibly. Bucky's fighting with something, possibly. Because you have that moment after he's done the little act, the charade of beating the guy up, and Sam comes up to him and he's like,
You good?
Are you good? And he's like, but it's like you can see it's like obviously he's getting a bit of a kick out of it.
Well, that's more what I think. Rather than him falling back into his old ways, is the fact that he actually is enjoying being in his old ways a little bit.
Yeah, but my point being is that that's narratively the only thing we really get from that
Do-
scene.
do-
Other than that, it is just an excuse to introduce Sharon Carter to the show.
Do we definitely find out that the sniper is Sharon?
I asked that, and you said yeah.
I was just thinking about it now. I don't know whether we're doing
Because I said to you is like, why did she kill her? And you said that because
she was monitoring.
She was monitoring it and noticed they were in trouble.
That's the only reason I could think for that sequence. Because who else would have sniped her? There was no leading or clues to anybody else.
Possibly it's somebody who works for the power broker trying to prevent
Keep
Shelby.
it quiet.
Yeah, exactly. And this kind of goes into theory crafting a little bit. But you have a theory, right, about Sharon Carter being the power broker.
Sharon Carter as the power broker. There we go. You've heard it first. That's my theory. And then,
well, the episode's been out a week.
Actually, the power broker is Mephisto.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh God, I don't have my phone handy, but I've got a whole lineup of memes from a viewer of my Twitch stream who sends me Mephisto memes and stuff.
But yeah, we meet Karen next. Sharon. And she
there's a meme for you, right? You take Sharon Carter, right?
Put a Karen head on her.
Well, no, you take a Karen and you like give her a gun and whatnot. Like Karen Carter.
She's obviously pissed that Zemo's there, and then we find out that Sharon is actually doing quite well in Madripoor, and
other than being sad that she can't be with her friends and family.
But this is the funny thing, which I don't know whether this is an American thing. Actually, it is an American thing. Sam says, "Why don't you go back?" She's living a life in one of the, let's say Madripoor is like Singapore, one of the most wealthy cities on the planet, in a monstrous apartment, making millions and millions of dollars selling stolen art, living the high life. Why the fuck would she want to go back?
Well, because she's missing I just said that because she misses a family.
But there's no reason why a family can't go out and visit her.
She's in exile. Well, maybe you shouldn't want her family involved in her criminal fucking cat burglar empire.
But look at it. She's got everything.
I don't know. I think you pick problems that some of the most pointless, needy crap.
She's wanting for nothing. She's got fucking jewels, a security force, fucking throwing high-class falutin parties.
Matthew, if she was a complete asshole, then yes, maybe you're gonna find out that she's the power broker and doesn't give a fuck at all, and it was just a charade.
No,
but
like we
having
said,
a problem with that is really goofy because ultimately, it's the only reason this is happening is because we want Sharon Carter in the show.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, of course, she'd just fuck off back to America.
Like we said, Liara's the power broker anyway.
Shadow broker.
Yeah. So we find out that she's gonna throw a party she's selling some stolen art and all that. And why are they at the party? Who are they waiting for?
You tell me.
Try to think. But then we get the best scene of the entire show. Zemo kicking back and boogieing along in the fucking... Some of those memes.
You see how I wait when you suggest something before I start talking?
Yeah.
So I give you the breath to speak and tell us what's going on.
So that scene, when I first watched it, I was like, oh, yeah, fine. But then the whole week of memes have been fucking brilliant.
The things the internet will adopt and meme there's no limit to what it is. There is no method either. You have no idea what it could be.
It's fucking brilliant.
Because you see, I honestly thought my Ship of Theseus, Ship of Theseus vision would go viral, but it didn't. But yet everybody I've ever shown it to has laughed their ass off.
Yeah,
it just goes to show that the way things go viral, again, no method or madness to it at all. The internet is a very interesting, weird thing.
Oh, we find out from, that's what it is. So we're at the party. She comes up with the information that there's a scientist working on the super soldier serum.
How the fuck did you not know?
My mind went blank. In a sea can on the docks. So that's that. Now we come to the next set piece where they go to confront him. Sam, Bucky, and Zemo go.
It's a good job that those sea cans weren't aboard the Ever Given.
Yeah. They'll be stuck there. So they go in. They find out that this guy was actually working on the super soldier serum for Hydra. Then when Hydra got shut down, He continued his work for the CIA, and then he got blipped out of existence. But when he came back, obviously no one was continued his work, so he took it to the power broker Madripoor. And I love what happened.
Are we supposed to assume as well? To be honest, I know this is just a little side note. Zemo didn't get snapped.
We haven't found out yet.
I mean, he probably didn't. It doesn't feel like he did.
No, because he would have been.
He'd have probably gotten out of that prison.
Yeah, it'd have been re-snapped out of prison maybe. But this, again, another great piece in the show, a Zemo piece. This guy's basically spilling his guts, telling him that he made 20 vials, which Carly stole.
20 days.
20 days. 2 days. 2 vials. But then once he spilled his guts, Zemo just comes in and fucking blows him away, and there's no fucking... When I think the line was, Bucky asked him, is there any serum here in this lab? And when he says no, he basically signs his death warrant, because at that point Zemo knows he can kill him, because there's no more serum there, and therefore if he's dead, he can't make any more serum. And he just pops him. And then the people that Sharon's been fighting outside, the Power Brokers people, do something really stupid. They don't know that Zemo's killed their scientist who's doing the super soldier serum. So those henchmen think their best course of action to save their scientist and their research is blow the fucking thing up with an RPG. Did you not find that weird?
Well, no, because as we know, that RPG can't be a blow up and kill and harm and rend flesh type of RPG, because 5 seconds later, all 3 of our heroes walk out unscathed.
But that is the Power Brokers lab and the Power Brokers scientist that they want to kill, that they've got to stop Bucky, Sam, and Zemo getting to. So their plan to do that is to blow it up with them inside and the scientists inside and all the research.
Or maybe all the research maybe they've got it. Maybe
we'll find out. Backed up to the cloud. It's on the Apple cloud.
Oh, they've already taken it. It's already gone. That's what they because Zemo kills him once he finds out that there's that there has been no.
Yeah, but no. The reason. What?
Your left pupil is like super dilated in comparison to your right one.
Well, yeah, because there's a light there. So there's more.
Is
light.
Mine?
Yeah, there's more light getting into this eye, so this eye's compensating.
Sorry.
No, so
I've never seen that before.
So basically, what happens is the scientist is trying to make more serum for the Power Broker, and the moment that Zemo finds out that there is no more serum, he kills him, so he can't make any more. But they don't know that outside. They don't know that they've shot him.
Well, but you don't know that they don't know.
Well, they don't, and then they blow it up, and then, like you say, all these sequences blow up, and
they could be literally trying to cover their tracks. They were probably planning on blowing him up all along.
Maybe. But then we have the, like you say, they blow up the secans all fall on fire, and the 3 of it. This is the first part I've seen in any of these Marvel series where the actual shot of what they're shooting doesn't look right, because it's so obvious they've just come running out from like stage left and not out of a blown up sea can. It is jarringly like, what the fuck? You haven't even got any smoke or any debris.
I hadn't even thought about it.
I did
until you pointed it out.
Then we get that cool kick-ass scene where Zemo basically legs it, and they think he's run, but he doesn't. He jumps on top of the sea can, puts his mask on, shoots a gas line, blows them all up, and then shows up in a Pontiac.
Now, see, do you want? I'm going to illustrate to you the severity of the stupidity of some of the qualms. I think this explains it perfectly. Why has he put the mask on?
Because he's Baron Zemo.
Exactly, right. So when you say things like why does he leave his phone on? Well, because they needed to create a tense
You never
moment.
know, though. If you look at that mask, it's actually face form. That might be a shield, like a flag smasher puts on his face to protect the face.
So why wasn't he wearing it to begin with?
Dramatic irony.
What?
Yeah, that's what it is.
No, dramatic irony is when something happens or someone says something in a piece of drama or literature where the audience knows, but people in the scene or the viewpoint character don't know.
Yeah, we know he's Baron Zemo, but he has to put on his mask and show, and then shoot with one bullet, shoot a pipeline which explodes with the force of like 10 nuclear bombs.
That's not dramatic irony, man.
Oh, then it's not that. But yeah, so he does that. Then they pick up the car. Sharon bails. Power Broker bails. They get in the car, and then we have that throwback line to the Winter Soldier where Sam is sat in the front of the Beetle And Bucky's in the rear, and he goes, "Put your seat forward." And he's like, "No." And Sam says to him, he goes, "You're not going to put your seat forward." And he's like, "Nope." Which I thought was a nice
See,
throwback.
again, stupid, silly nitpicks.
No, it's not.
Well, just put your fucking feet up on the. You're the only one back there,
Yeah.
you dickhead. Like,
Yeah, but it was that was in there for a throwback to the movie.
no, I'm saying that's good.
Yeah.
What I suggested is
Yeah.
is how silly some of the stuff you point out is.
And then where do we go from there? They leave. They get back on the plane, do they? No, then we.
That's pretty much it. The episode's
Yeah.
over right
So
away.
now that we got to talk about the Flag Smashers part.
Well, no, but also when Io shows up and Bucky's like, I was wondering.
Yeah, that's where they go next. We'll leave that to her, and then let's talk about the Flag Smashers, because there's only a little bit in here, but we do find out more about them. We found out Callie, is it Menenthal or something like that? I don't know how you pronounce it.
Look it up.
Yeah. She is it a mum or a?
We've had excellent connection all night.
Yeah.
I like how you like just try and type in what you think it is,
Yeah.
and you don't
Yeah.
just go look up like episode 3 of Falcon and Winter Soldier and then look at the casting.
That's true. Yeah.
You're
a shitty Google searcher.
I was just gonna say your web surfing techniques are weak.
Weak old
Your
man.
moves are weak because your moves are weak.
Yeah, so we get that the scene where she's in the hospital where
No. Back up. It's a good job we don't have this on screen.
yeah.
Go to Wikipedia for Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode cast list guide and stuff over here. Yeah, on the right side here.
What?
So just clicking up on any of those because are you looking for the character name or the character name?
No, the character name.
Yeah, give me.
No, you just keep talking. I'll find
About what? You're the one who's trying to make a point here.
the fact that we go and see a relative of hers.
Yeah, so give me here.
I know. Yeah, we got it here.
Yeah, sure we do.
Okay, she's not even mentioned.
Known friendlies and known hostiles.
Morgenthau.
Yeah, Caroline Morgenthau.
So she goes to see. I think it's a mum. Is it a mum or an aunt or something?
I don't know. I don't think it says. Do you know what we need to do before these conversations? Bookmark that. Bookmark that and pull this up as a constant reference we have.
That's good. Yeah. So she goes.
If I was behind the glass of producing a radio show or something, or anything, this would be one of the first things I'd make sure you had up before every episode.
Yeah. So yeah, she goes to see because you said earlier that they've stolen the super soldier serum. And we know that they had 20 vials.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that they've used 8. So there are 12 left. You said they were going to use it to try and help sick people, which is, I believe it was a mum.
Do you know what's so sad?
What?
Super serum soldier serum is a plot device for like an analogy for medicine that can a cure all. And it's, if you think about it, it makes sense. If
It's Khan's blood.
No. Well, I wasn't going to use that. Okay, so with Khan's blood, there's no explanation that is just his blood. There's no reason why blood would be something that could just magically heal anything. The serum, on the other hand, narratively, its purpose is to turn someone into a super soldier, perfect human specimen. Right? It turns a skinny, scrawny, underdeveloped young 20-something man into a ridiculous brick shithouse. Right? And it can be used as a cure-all for that reason.
Well, yeah, you think if you give it to everybody, they're all super soldiers.
Now, Batman and Robin, you've got this magic MacGuffin goo that can freeze things. Right? That keeps a man permanently cold so he doesn't die. And they use it at the end to cure Alfred's terminal disease. The internet loses their shit over that. Well, actually, we didn't have really the internet at the time, but the general movie-going public loses their shit over that at the time. Do the same thing as a device in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and everyone's okay with it.
Well, the silly thing is Zemo says. Zemo says he wants to stop more super soldiers, but if the serum's easily remade and you give it to everyone, then everyone's a super soldier, so you won't have to worry about it.
But that's again why they point out that he's a Machiavellian character, because he doesn't care. He's a lone wolf who thinks his way is the only way to do things. It's a good character trait for an antagonist. So you don't need to pick apart his character or his motivations for that reason, because that's who he is, right? Because if you think about it, you could also turn around and say, well, heck.
Oh, there you go. You spoke too soon. It's probably because I got these open.
Yeah, what was I saying?
That is Machiavelli.
No, I've moved on from that. Yeah, you could say that it's the fact that it can be used as a cure for diseases and can be used for more than just creating super soldiers. He is only going to think about one thing. This is creating super soldiers and creating groups like the Avengers, and I want to end it. I want to stop it all. Someone could come up to him and shake him and be like, Zemo, you could use this to fucking bring back your dead family, and he'd ignore that.
Yeah.
That's good. That to me, that's good writing. That's good character development.
So I found out Carly goes to visit someone who's just important to her, called Madani, who's got tuberculosis, and so we got to assume that she was kind of stealing that to try and save her. And then I think she dies off camera. But then you get a nice little scene of her and one of her Flag Smasher brethren.
Yeah.
Where she talks about wanting to be a teacher. And basically he says, maybe after this you can become a teacher. And we all know that ain't going to happen. They then break into the Global Repatriation Council, GRC or GRP or something like that.
A thing.
Yeah. The people who are supposedly bringing everything back from the blip to make it normal. But we find out that they're hoarding supplies, so they go in and steal them all. But then we realise, like you said, that she's not all bad, but she obviously is willing to go above and beyond, because then she blows up the building and kills a shitload of innocent people.
Well, yeah, it's terrorist tactics, right? Like, terrorists, for the most part, we know, they have a cause.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not the means, the ends justify the means, is what I think differentiates a freedom fighter over a terrorist.
Well, one man's freedom fighter is another man's terrorist.
But I'm going even further than that, though, and suggesting that there are freedom fighters who aren't terrorists, because if you think the ends justify the means, then you're essentially a terrorist.
Yeah.
Because think about it, Thanos is a terrorist.
Well, no. A terrorist uses terror to get their agenda.
Which is exactly what Thanos does.
But what I'm saying is, though, killing everybody, you're not a terrorist, because you're not allowing that terror to get what you need.
No, you're missing my point. I'm talking about the defined line between what differentiates a freedom fighter from a terrorist. Because you've got absolute abysmal, awful terrorists who don't give a fuck about what they're doing and are probably like just out to cause chaos. But then you've got, let's say, in Northern Ireland, there's a little bit more of a grey area there, because they're people who are essentially freedom fighters. They're fighting oppression. They want to get a better world for themselves.
Yeah, and they use terror.
Exactly, right. So my point here is, with the Flag Smashers, is they're terrorists.
Yeah, she well, again,
they think the ends justify. We're going to find out that she is like. We've already found out that she has a noble cause, but it's actually kind of counter to everything we know about Captain America. She's almost the flip of that. We've got a person who wants to achieve a goal that we know is a noble goal, but we're also finding out that the means that she goes to in order to achieve that goal is causing collateral damage.
Now, where she would now step to a terrorist is if she now put out demands.
No, I think she is a terrorist.
No, because this is where she goes towards terrorism. She would then put demands out to a government saying, if you don't do this for me, we're going to do it again. And that then instills terror in the populace to put pressure on the government to give you what we want. That's what the IRA did. They'd blow shit up. And they said, listen, if you didn't pull out of Northern Ireland, we're going to blow up this fucking school. So the only way a terrorist works is if you know what they're wanting to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she didn't do that. I got there, she was basically sticking it to him. Because they'd got all the supplies, there was no need to blow up. and I think that was portrayed on the other Flag Smasher's face and his reaction.
Wait, what are we arguing here? The definition of terrorism, or are we talking about the character's motivation?
No, the character.
Yeah. So that's
So
my point is that we the way that her character was developed today is to show that she has a noble cause, but she's one of these the ends justify the means.
Yeah,
people.
so she's not a terrorist. She's willing to go that extra step, is what it is.
I would say she's a terrorist, but it's fucking irrelevant. Stop arguing me over what the definition of a terrorist.
So that's the only exposure we get of the Flag Smashers, and then we go back to Zemo, Sam, and
Where's the chat?
The chat is there. Zemo, Sam, and Bucky, and they're in a Eastern European town. I think they're still in Latvia, in Riga. And Bucky obviously sees the Wakandan marble that has all the technology on it. So he picks it up, says he's off for a walk, walks around a corner, and we get the reveal at the end.
He says, I was wondering whether you would show up.
And she goes, I'm here for Zemo.
And that's the end.
Why she would be there for Zemo, I don't know. Because Black Panther turns Zemo over.
Okay, no, so we know, yeah, exactly why. So let's say he's in jail because rather than he won't let Zemo kill himself, and he's like, no, you're gonna pay for your crimes, and they put jail. He finds out that he's not in jail anymore. You'd send an envoy, or you'd send someone who knows.
But also, you're not telling me that Oye, is it Oye? Io hasn't spent time with Bucky when Bucky was in Wakanda. Mm-hmm. So it's not like they don't know each other. So not like, hey Bucky, what's going on? It's, I'm here for Zemo, fuck you, straight away.
Yeah, because that's the well, that's why she'd be there.
Well, if that honestly, let's put it this way: if that was the case,
you're making an assumption as
no,
well.
Okay.
You're assuming that there's these two buddies all of a sudden.
So okay, I'm gonna put.
What if there wasn't? What if there was tension between the two of them the whole time he was there?
I'm gonna put this to you: Black Panther, who can only who holds his ground with the Winter Soldier, sends a non-enhanced being to take out the Winter Soldier.
No, to take out Zemo.
But they know the Winter Soldier's with him.
What's that got to do with anything?
So, all right. So, I'm going to put this to you. I'm Bucky.
Yeah.
I'm a super soldier, and you've known me from Wakanda, and you've heard I've freed Zemo, and I'm running around with Zemo now. Would you, T'Challa, come after me, or would you send some other dude who's got no superpowers?
You're making an assumption. You're making an assumption that they know that Bucky broke them out. She might have only just literally found out, and she's on their trail. You're basically telling me a king doesn't send his fucking...
No, Black Panther, not the king. Black Panther. And she does know Bucky's there because she leaves breadcrumbs for him. She leaves the marble that only he would know.
When she was sent. Your nitpick is that why would they send this person and not Black Panther?
My nitpick is about all the Marvel movies. No. Where are the other fucking characters? Black Panther would go to get Zemo. He wouldn't send her.
No, I think you're wrong. I think you're completely wrong there. It's like
let us know in the comments what you think.
That's like assuming that a king would immediately go out. It's like assuming that Picard would be on every away mission.
Black Panther did that in Civil War. He did it all himself. Not once did he send his henchmen. He did it all himself.
Well, actually, he was there already, to be honest.
He wasn't in Berlin. He purposely went to Berlin. Didn't bring all his army.
He was in Europe already.
But this is the stupid thing. He didn't bring all his army with him from Wakanda, which had been way easier to capture Bucky.
And also, he knew he would have to get into an actual head-on fight. I always was assuming that she can get there and be like, hey, look, I'm here for Zemo. Like, I've been sent. Yeah. Like, don't fucking start any shit. She doesn't know why they're together. We're going to probably, first scene, next episode, we're probably going to be, she's like...
Bucky and her.
Yeah, why have you, like, what's going on? Explain to me.
So that's what she would say. She'd be like, hey, Bucky, what the fuck's going on? Not, I'm here for Zemo. It's just a stupid line.
Could you imagine it ending that way?
Hey, Bucky, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm here for... Like, you're an idiot.
No,
sorry.
But it's not how people talk to each other. That's what I'm getting at. It's a line thrown in there to make it seem dramatic, but it's like, why? That's not how it would go down.
No, hold on. How is that not how someone talks to each other? It's how someone who was sent to bring in an assassin would talk to someone. You're saying this isn't how people talk to each other. You wouldn't go... if you've been sent by your king... As as a special forces unit or spy or whatever to go to a foreign country to go investigate why a enemy of the state is currently loose, right? And you'd be like, make sure though that you're like, oh, buddy
No.
with it.
Right, I'll put this here. One of two things. If she knew...
If we don't know, that's the
Hang on.
point.
If she knew Bucky was there, she would have contacted Bucky first. Even if she didn't like him for his entire time there and he was a
She
dick
didn't
to
have
her.
his number.
She would just say, I'm here for Zemo, straight off the
Yes, she
bat.
would.
Nah. Even Black Widow don't talk like that and she's a spy.
But also, we kind of, as the audience, need to know that that's why she's there. If it'd been like, hey, how's it going, Bucky? It'd been like, oh, cool, she's here.
But that would have made
No.
more sense if even if she'd have just said, Bucky, or even better,
Trying to think on the fly of,
Hey,
of
Jane,
a comparison to
if
point.
she'd have gone, hello, James, I'm here for Zemo, that's it, or hello, Bucky, or anything like that, but just stone-faced, I'm here for Zemo. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, no, but it don't do that. You're picturing it that way.
That's how it was.
No, it isn't. No, it ain't. It literally doesn't.
Join us next week to find out
It
why
literally-
she's there for
It
Zemo.
literally doesn't do it that way. That
does.
that you have just basically painted the narrative yourself
No.
there. It does not do that.
It does.
It is revealed as a more of a hey look, remember her reveal. That's the if you want to attack it for anything, attack it for that.
Anyway,
To attack it because of so you first of all trying to justify that it wouldn't be her, it would be Black Panther. Completely annihilated that assumption.
No,
And
no,
so
it would be Black Panther.
No, it wouldn't.
right.
I give you reasons as to why it wouldn't be.
Why wouldn't it be Black Panther?
In the same reason that a king would not fucking or a prime minister would send James Bond to go investigate something rather than go himself.
Okay, so the last time I looked, Boris Johnson isn't a superhero.
No, but also the last time I looked, the superhero Black Panther is a fucking world leader.
And he's a superhero.
No,
though.
but he's a world leader.
He's a world
first.
leader, superhero vigilante.
He's a world leader. He's not a vigilante.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
He acts without impunity, crossing borders.
No, he don't. Only in it's only in Wakanda. When he attacks that train at the beginning of Black Panther, that's in Wakanda.
Okay, so he doesn't operate.
It's
with
people who are trying.
impunity
It's people
in
trying
civil
to.
war.
It's people. Yeah, because he's in vengeance mode.
He doesn't
He's-
show up
he's
in
in
New
vengeance-
Jersey to fight Thanos.
He's in vengeance mode. What do you mean?
At the end of Endgame, he's not in Wakanda then. He brings his entire army onto American soil.
Yeah, but okay, now we're really nitpicking because if you're gonna nitpick that, you're gonna nitpick everyone showing up there.
Yeah.
Why do the Ravagers from fucking Galaxy Quest?
Ravagers
Galaxy
are
Quest-
aliens, though. They have total different morals.
My point is the whole ending of Endgame is just an excuse. It's an excuse. We need what in universe reason can we get everybody all here at once?
If he was going to send an envoy, then his envoy would have reached out to, because again we can see they've.
Do you know what, Matthew? You're looking
Hang
for
on.
a job right now. You know what you should do? You should go apply to the fucking Secretary of Defense or something in some country.
No, so we obviously know Bucky's on great terms with Wakanda.
No, we don't.
They give him a fucking arm.
So, that's something that T'Challa does as a favor to Captain America. We even have in Black Panther, which we're talking about the White Wolf, the way they talk about him, they kind of talk about him in disdain. Why are we helping him?
I still don't think. I just thought
You're arguing about a little teeny fucking scene at the end of an episode of a Disney Plus Marvel.
We are down for the nitpick. That's the whole point.
I'm not. I don't like nitpicking.
Leave your nitpicks in the comments
I
below.
I don't like nitpicking, and I think singling
You don't
out
even like the show. You fell asleep through the second episode.
singling out nitpick. Yeah, but this episode is really good. The episode 3 is like
All right.
it's exceptional TV. It's 8
Right.
out of 10 for me.
Right, we've wrapped up episode 2. Let's quickly give our ratings for the 2 episodes, and then let's do a little bit of third
Another
crafting.
6.5 out of 10 for episode 2, but maybe I'll raise it up to a 7 because it is slightly better.
I'll go for a 7 because I thought the set pieces were really good and the development of John Walker.
And episode 3 is an 8 out of 10 for me. Exceptional television.
8.2 with a few nitpicks.
Because keep in mind, I think both of us can agree on this. When I'm rating, 8 is exceptional television. 9 is The Sopranos at its best. 10 is I don't even think there is.
Battlestar Galactica. At its
I'd
best.
argue Sopranos is better than Battlestar
No,
Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica at its best is one of the best TV shows.
But
of all
I
time.
also think
The Expanse
is better than Battlestar.
Well, no, I think The Expanse is on par with Battlestar. Battlestar has a lot of episodes that are better than The Expanse.
I still think you'd find the consensus out there would be that The Sopranos is a better television show than both.
No, because there's a lot of stuff in The Sopranos that's very repetitive. Not repetitive. Yeah, they repeat a lot of beats in Sopranos, which is understandable. It's about a mobster. But anyway,
well, we're gonna have to have a discussion about that one of these days because you're completely wrong.
No, I'm not. All right. So, what do you expect from, or what were you hoping for? Because you don't know what to expect. What are you hoping for from the next episode?
Mephisto.
Yes, the power broker is Mephisto living in Madripoor, because that's where you would put the demon in the Asian market.
Mephisto's in the Star Wars universe.
Is he?
He fought the Mandalorian on that rebel prison.
But that's it though. He will bounce between franchises. No, I'm hoping we get more of a.
I don't know. I'm at a 100% standstill with what to expect from tonight's episode.
This is what I, not what I expect, but this is what I want to see over the next episode. Is obviously what Bucky and Sam have done in the eyes of Wakanda and the US is viewed as wrong. So I can see a conflict becoming in next episode between John Walker, Battlestar, Zemo, Winter Soldier, Falcon, and Io.
Yeah, I think the reason I'm really enjoying the show, despite it not being like an on average 8 out of 10, it's only one episode that's 8. The rest are
none of this stupid fucking.
But the reason
theories.
I think the reason I enjoy it in spite of that is because I have no idea where this is going.
I'll tell you.
I don't know where it's going. I don't know where I want it to go. I can't guess.
So
I don't know what it's going for, to be honest.
I was the same with WandaVision, though. I did not know where it was going, and I enjoyed it. What I didn't like about WandaVision, though, was the ridiculous amount of theories, and it got tiresome.
I think the in defense though of WandaVision and why I knew even after the first episode I was like, I know I'm going to enjoy this, is it's the same reason The Sopranos is exceptional television, because you could just tell that the writing is it's not throwing out mystery boxes for the sake of throwing out mystery boxes. The writing from get-go was everything mattered, everything meant something. And I'm not sure if you've done it yet, because I challenge you to do this. Go watch the first 3 episodes of WandaVision again now, knowing what you know.
Except Ralph Boner.
Go watch the first 3 episodes of WandaVision again now, knowing what you know. Yeah. Everything is done for a reason.
No,
every little thread, every little visual cue, everything is done.
The writing for WandaVision was awesome, and it was a completely different way of telling it. But what got tiresome and what I didn't like was the internet's reaction of everyone.
That's fine. That's not the show's fault.
No, I know it's not the show's fault. But with the Winter Soldier,
so it's irrelevant.
But with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's very hard to do that.
I don't know. It's still happening.
Oh, I saw.
You get on Twitter. Trust me, it's happening.
No, I know, but not to the same level. As I said, the level with WandaVision.
Only because
it was tiresome.
No, it's only because there's less of because we don't have a magic witch and a soup and
WandaVision was purposely.
Let me finish. Because we don't have a magical witch, 2 magical witches and hexes and because we don't have literal magic, it kind of reduces the pool a little bit when it comes to.
But WandaVision was also written to make people do that.
I still
100% WandaVision was written to make people
Falcon
do that.
and Winter Soldier is getting a lot of
that.
No, you're just not aware because you're not on Twitter.
No, it is. Well, I don't have to be on Twitter. It is getting some.
Oh no, you trust me, you do. No. Twitter is the worst.
Okay. Hang on, it is getting some to the point where I saw someone say, I saw a video on YouTube, 91 Easter eggs you missed in the Winter Soldier. I'm like, that's more than 1 a minute. That means there's 2 Easter eggs every minute of the show. I'm like, are they Easter eggs? Or are they just stupid little details you're picking out that are not Easter eggs?
Well, I mean, an Easter egg needs to be. Oh, it's really hard to say. I think an Easter egg is
the planet.
No. An Easter egg is something that's there that has no reason to be there.
Yeah, the Planet Express pizza van showing up in all Pixar movies is an Easter egg.
Well, kind of. I don't think so. No, because that there's a in-universe reason for why that is. An Easter egg is like it's better.
What's the in-universe reason?
Well, that it's all the same world. It's all the same universe. So,
yeah,
I find it easy to use video game Easter eggs as an explanation. Going into
Pac-Man in Tron. That's an Easter egg.
Exactly. Going in I don't think it's a Halo game. I think it's a Call of Duty, one of the Black Ops. In one of the zones, you can go into a building. It's an arcade, and you go into the arcade, and there's fucking Duke Nukem 3D, the full game right there. You can play it as your character. That's an Easter egg. An Easter egg is something that shouldn't be there.
That's what I'm saying. So in a video marked 91 Easter eggs from the episode 3 of the, how the fuck are you getting two Easter eggs?
I just picture like the guys who wrote the director, the producer, the writers, the sound design, the costume, all of the people, the crew involved, seeing that video and thinking, we only put one Easter egg in this. What the fuck's he talking about?
But that's what I'm saying.
Excuse me? Does he know something we don't?
It's good because Falcon and Winter Soldier hasn't had the level that WandaVision did. WandaVision had a tiresome level to the point where it was too tiring.
I think you care too much.
No, it's like realistically, all the theories. Oh, it's Mephisto. It's Nightmare. It's fucking. It's Jeff.
Hold on, who's more the fool then? The person who goes looking for that and clicking on that shit, or the people who make that shit?
No one's a fool.
No, I think you're a fool for doing that. You're saying it's tiresome. Don't fucking watch any of that shit.
No, I don't. But I just get it.
Because I'll tell you now,
feed filled with it.
I don't hit the bell notification icon, but you should. And if you really like what you see,
nice segue.
Give us a like or a dislike if you don't like what you see. But anyway, I never hit the bell notification icon, but the algorithm knows.
But how do you keep up with everything?
Yeah, hold on. The algorithm still knows.
It
That's why I don't hit the bell notification icon, because I know the algorithm will reward me with things that it thinks it should reward me with, because of how much WandaVision got me intrigued. I've clicked on all that stuff, and now the algorithm knows to suggest Captain America and Winter Soldier stuff to me. Do I click on any of that? No, but you know why? Because there isn't sufficient enough intrigue for me personally, and that's where the difference I find it is.
But also,
I didn't think it was tiresome with WandaVision. No. I thought it was like, I gotta find this. I gotta look this stuff up because I have no idea what's going on. With Captain America and the Winter Soldier, I find I don't click on that stuff as much because I'm not bothered. Yeah. I'm not interested.
Also,
enough.
With the linear storytelling of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's harder to do that because it's like it's been what happens next and next and next. Whereas WandaVision, because of the sitcom styles it was shot in, there was obviously lots of different things to look for. Like, look at this video. There are 12,000 Easter eggs in this episode. There's a big pile of them.
That's what I say. Everything was done deliberately in WandaVision, which is why I would say the 91 Easter eggs in this episode of WandaVision, I bet there was probably at least 20 or so that they got right.
It was 91 in the episode of Winter Soldier.
No, but I'm making a point here. In the video that done for the WandaVision episode, maybe 20 or so correct, because that's how that show was made. It was done deliberately with all of this visual storytelling. Whereas Captain America, it'll be like, that's why I say the crew will be like, we didn't put any Easter eggs in this. What the hell?
I could tell you this. After episode 3, I'm enjoying this series more than WandaVision. But that might also be because...
Bold statement.
At the moment, I am. Up to the episode... But I'm not saying over the entire show. I'm saying after episode 3 of Falcon and Winter Soldier, I'm enjoying it more than I did after episode 3 of WandaVision.
I'm basing my excitement for the next episode on
last week's. Last week left me wanting.
Honestly, I didn't even realize it was Thursday, or I didn't wake up thinking, "Oh man, I can't wait to watch Captain America, Falcon and the Winter Soldier tonight." Right? But with WandaVision, every morning, every WandaVision Eve, I went to bed not being able to sleep, excited,
and I'm different. I'm the other way around. This is piquing my interest up to episode 3. Now, as WandaVision went on and we got more information, I got more and more.
Remember, we got all 3 of the first 3 episodes of WandaVision at once.
We got the first 2.
Was it?
Yeah, first 2. Again, up until
it was the first 3 episodes of season 5 of The Expanse that we.
Yeah, it was only after episode 3. Don't get me wrong, Michael. After 2 episodes, I was enjoying WandaVision more because, like you say, they were.
No, see, that's what I was trying to say. I didn't explain that properly. Sorry. It's not about enjoyment for me. What you're asking me the question, like, which one am I looking forward to the most?
No, I'm on about which one I'm enjoying the most as I'm watching it. At the moment, I'm enjoying.
Yeah. Okay, so a good gauge for that is how much you can't wait for the next episode.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I honestly, I'm not thinking ahead to the next episodes. It's not.
Whereas I
It's
am.
not consuming my week.
Well, it's not
my
consuming
thoughts.
my week either.
No, but WandaVision was. I was like the amounts of metaphysical, interesting, thought-provocative stuff that happened in that show. I was thinking about it on the regular.
Towards the end of it, I was like from episode 6 onwards.
Yeah.
But to start with,
I wish I had some fucking like some tea to sip like a pompous asshole right now, because I would also say though, not over stupid trivial things like who is Mephisto. I'm talking like the Ship of Theseus type stuff. I'm talking about the philosophical crap that
the
show
fact
seemingly was bringing up.
the fact that people didn't realize the real bad guy in WandaVision was Grief.
Yeah.
That's the number one bad guy in that show.
Yeah, I'm like, people are like, oh man, who's Mephisto? Is this Mephisto? Is that Mephisto? Who's
They missed the point of what WandaVision was.
Meanwhile, I'm thinking, is just like, wait a second, am I my thoughts or am I my body? Like, what the hell?
And I said that to me is where I just want to clarify. That's to me is where it got tiring. I was trying to enjoy WandaVision for what I thought WandaVision was, which was basically like Marvel's version of trying to do a case study on Grief.
So, this is my challenge to you. Actually, my recommendation to you. What I'm doing with I keep wanting to call it Captain America, with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I also did with WandaVision. I wasn't tired by all that shit because I wasn't looking. If I saw a who is Mephisto thing, do you think I clicked on it? No. If I saw Wisecrack talking about the existential nihilism of there being two visions or whatever or whatnot, or like, do you think I click on that?
Yeah,
I click on that.
Because, like, honestly,
I don't give a crap about the 92 Easter eggs. I care about whether or not fucking Scarlet Witch is a villain or not.
Well, that's just it. Out of both of these shows, the character that's intrigued me the most that I want to know more about is Baron Zemo. His motivations, what his plan is.
He's up there.
Yeah,
I don't think it's as close as to what the White Vision or.
But that was
that's
what I'm saying though. That was I'm running the shows concurrently. I'm not thinking of because I can't. It's doing an unfair injustice to Falcon and Winter Soldier. If I compare 9 episodes of WandaVision to 3 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier, I have to compare to where I was mindset after episode 3.
Do you know that I honestly think that the way that they handled Agatha Harkness was a little too on the nose, and I think this show was suffered because of it.
Yes, bang on.
I thought it was Agatha. That was too much of a wink.
So
too much of a wink.
So this is what I'm saying about it. First off,
because it basically ended up being just a will she or won't she situation for 6 episodes. Wait, how many episodes was it? We find out in episode 7.
Well, if you look at it this way, the fact that it was on the nose that she was Agatha Harkness, I thought that was a red herring, and they were doing that on purpose, and she was going to turn out to be nobody, but then it actually did turn out that she was.
See, red herrings can intrude on the plot too much.
Well, up until she's revealed, she isn't. She's just a side character.
She intrudes on the plot quite a bit. The first instance of that is her warning Vision about Monica. Right there.
Yeah.
So the moment that happened, that's where the first sort of she's probably going to matter to the plot more than we think. And if she didn't, think to yourself, how would they have explained that away?
Do you know
how would they have explained why she did that and why she was able to point that out about Monica?
Do you know why I knew she was going to count to the plot?
I knew because of that.
Because it was Catherine Hahn playing her, and not just some
B-lister.
B-lister.
And there's no. However, that would be a good way of disguising a red herring.
And that's what I thought.
By casting someone big to play.
But that's what I thought.
They
cast a known actress, and they were pointing at it with big neon arrows. I'm like, it's going to be a fake out, and then it turned out not. And then,
except she was too involved in the plot for her to ever have been a red herring, and you know that from the get go.
But also, when you're going about it was Agatha all along. Actually, Agatha didn't do shit. Mm-hmm. It was Wanda all along.
The main we're getting off topic though. Yeah. The main reason though that I think that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier isn't tiring people out with all this stuff is because there isn't a red herring presence like that in the show,
and the very linear style of the storytelling.
Sure, I mean,
like you could watch those first 3 episodes as one hour and a half
I
long
don't
movie.
know. The Game of Thrones was a linear story, but people were making fucking conspiracy theories left, right, and center about that show. I don't think a linear story changes that too much. I think you're definitely 100% correct about the fact that it's. Oh no, wait, I suggested this. Sorry.
What?
That the reason it's not suffering from tiresome plot twists and plot devices is because there is yet to be an identifiable red herring in the show. Maybe the Flag Smashers.
They're not the red herring. They're the ones.
Well,
who,
they are. If it turns out they're not the villains, then they're a red herring.
They're not the villains. The power broker is the villain.
Possibly.
I don't. And so again, we're into.
You know the difference between a red herring and a Chekhov's gun, right?
What I forgot what Chekhov's gun is.
Chekhov's gun. You walk into a cabin and there's a gun on the wall. Let's say one of the characters is Chekhov. It's his cabin. It's his gun. And the narrative, whether it's a line in a book, or whether it's a scene in a story, makes a deliberate reference to the gun on the wall.
Yeah.
And then it's never brought up again until later
when you need it.
You're in a tough. All of a sudden, you're in a fist fight with Chekhov now, and he's about to kill you. He's about to break your neck, and you look and you see the gun. You reach down, you turn, you shoot the guy. That's Chekhov's gun. Chekhov's gun is usually a. It's usually just a glance. This isn't important, but we're making note of it.
I'm trying to think of what another example of that would be.
So a red herring, on the other hand,
the BFG in Doom, it's literally glanced at as they first show up on Mars, and then it shows up at the Rock pulls it out at the end.
It's a literal Chekhov's gun, yeah. Whereas a red herring, on the other hand, is more of a. I got all caught up with the explanation of Chekhov's gun.
They set it up as something that it's not.
It's kind of the opposite, yeah. Of
and
Chekhov's
that's
gun.
So Flag Smashers to me are a red herring. They've been set up as the bad guys and terrorists, and they'll end up helping them in the end.
It's important to note, though, that a red herring doesn't usually lay heavy on the plot. That if you have to have a firm narrative explanation as to why it's not what it was set up to be, then it's a bad red herring.
Yeah.
Subtlety again. Subtlety is
actually... Which Marvel's really weird. Marvel can do subtlety really, really well, but then they can also be very, very bad at it.
Yeah.
Like, really bad at it.
I think Thor Ragnarok is an example of a very subtle MCU film. Winter Soldier, very subtle.
The better Marvel movies.
Yeah. But I also struggle to find any other ones because I don't think the MCU does do subtlety well.
Another Chekhov's gun. Proof that Tony Stark has a heart.
Yeah.
He frames it for him and then puts it down.
Exactly.
In the real world, that gets shoved in a fucking corner somewhere and never show up again. But he needs it later on. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the Chekhov's gun.
Yeah. So the
the Mandarins of Ed Herring.
And that's another example actually of very good subtle moment in an MCU film.
Yeah.
You don't if your Chekhov's gun is like, oh my god, that's gonna show up later. If it's obvious that it's going to happen, then it's not a good Chekhov's gun.
And there are lots of them out there. Like we've seen them all the time. Like, oh, I bet that shows up again later on.
Have we got a Chekhov's gun in Falcon and the Winter Soldier yet? I think we do.
What do you think? The shield?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's going to end up in Bucky's hands.
But it's also going to be something that it does that's significant later in the series. It's not just going to be a mantle. Like, it's going to be like, oh, look, now you've earned the right to wear the shield. Here's the shield. Something will happen. Because remember, it's a Chekhov's gun that's fucking walking around, essentially. But John Walker's wielding it.
There's another Marvel. Cap moving the Mjolnir in Age of Ultron is a Chekhov's gun. The fact that it wiggles and then in Endgame it gets to pick it up.
That is not a Chekhov's gun because that is more of a... I don't know. That's just more of a... simple payoff.
Did you hear a lot of the theory? Not a lot of the theories, but one of the theories out there, which I quite liked, of why he can wield Mjolnir in Endgame, and the reason why he couldn't pick it up in Age of Ultron. It's because he had something on his conscience that didn't make him worthy, a secret that he'd been holding away from one of his friends. And by the time he gets to Endgame, he's let go of that.
Except he does nudge it a little bit, and it's more likely that what happens, because of what we know of Steve Rogers, is that he realizes that he can't hold it because he's too nice and too magnanimous and doesn't want to.
Whereas Vision's just like, fuck you, let's go.
He doesn't want to ruin Thor's.
Yeah.
It is a Chekhov's gun, but for that reason right there, not for the reason of Cap holding it. Haha! Because it's set up as there's a whole discussion about you have to be worthy to hold it. Well, it's the reason why everyone trusts him Vision instantly. So it is a Chekhov's gun, but for a different reason for what you were saying.
But yeah, Vision don't give a fuck about Thor's feelings. There you go.
Whereas Captain America, he does. He nudges it, which means he realizes, like, oh no, and because he's such a nice stand-up guy,
anyway,
he decides to pretend that he can't pick it up just so that he doesn't make Thor look like an idiot.
Anyway, we've talked Marvel, Falcon, Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Mephisto for an hour and 35 minutes.
I better get home so I can go fucking stream.
Yeah. We are going to be doing an Expanse podcast soon, aren't we?
Are we?
Well, I want to do. I'll talk about it off camera about our filming schedule.
All the good videos on our channel that are performing well are Expanse videos made by yours truly.
So I want to get in on this Expanse shit. I'll talk about the filming schedule after the live stream. But is there anything else coming up? Have you got any other videos to release that you want to publicize?
I'm not going to release another video until you release a video and start pulling your weight. I've got a couple, but I'm not telling anyone what they are. No, they're aces in the hole, and they'll stay there until you
asses in your hole? All right.
Until you get part 2 of great moments in bad films.
No, I'm closer to doing something else anyway.
No, get that me.
No, I've got a recommend video that I'm working on. So because to me that's more passionate than anything else.
What is it?
It's Battlestar Galactica.
Sure. Yeah. I like it because it's been long enough that it might be something that there's a couple of generations gone by since it came out. So,
and I watched it again recently.
Yeah.
And
if you did a recommendation video for Battlestar Galactica like in 2009, it wouldn't be a good performing video because everybody be like, well, duh. It's like the most fucking hip thing on sci-fi television right now.
But having watched, I watched it again recently, and it had been almost like 10 years since I watched it.
We should collaborate on that one then, because I have feelings too.
Yeah, well, let's discuss it. But apart from that,
yeah, if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I have been Michael. That has been Matthew. He has not yet queued the music up, so I will say...
Just keep talking, man.
Cue the music. Until next time, thanks for watching.
See you later. Good night.